Be afraid just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand.
Hey everyone, in this video we'll be talking about a demo version of a game. Actually, it's not even a demo of a game, it's more of a tech demo of what is to come. I downloaded the Platinum Final Fantasy 15 demo and I really felt like talking about it because there is a lot to say. This is a game I'm very excited about. I was looking forward to it, but it didn't really hit me that hard until the latest trailer they released. And when I saw that there was a demo, actually I didn't know about it. I saw it online on YouTube and I'm like, hey, how do I get this demo? Maybe, if I have to, I'm gonna have to buy Final Fantasy Type O and play it like that. Fortunately, this demo is a public demo and, well, everybody can play it, everybody can see what I'm talking about here. Problem is, I never played the original Final Fantasy 15 demo because honestly I did not feel, and I still do not feel, that Final Fantasy Type O is worth my money, so I didn't feel like buying an entire game just so I can play a demo of a different game. So this is my first and only hands-on experience with anything Final Fantasy 15 related. We have to understand one thing. When I got this demo, I thought it would be more story-driven. It was not. Alright, what we have here is a tech demo that shows us a little bit of what combat is like. It shows different types of environments, lighting, interiors, exteriors, and character models. So this is a tech demo and it does have some gameplay, to make things interesting and keep people engaged. However, primarily this is a technical showcase, and I'll say this. Final Fantasy 15 looks absolutely stunning and there's no doubt about that. However, you can tell that it's running on an underpowered system, and recently they even came out and said that they would like to make a PC version where they won't have to, deal with whatever limitations the current consoles have. What's even worse is that they said they want the PC version to be better in every way, making it so that it might have things that they did not include in the console version due to limitations of the hardware. Now, whether or not corporate will allow the development team to actually do this is another matter entirely, because I strongly doubt they will. Everything looks stunning until you start interacting with the world. And this is where all these different small issues and problems start to rear their heads. Now, that's not to say I did not enjoy this demo. I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot and played through it twice. However, the character you control does not feel like he's part of the world he tries to navigate through. And that is because I believe we are given action game controls, we're expected to do some light platforming and all that. However, the world itself feels like it wasn't built for that, because your character has trouble navigating even through the smallest of obstacles. For example, you can jump high enough to be able to grab onto a ledge and climb up. However, he just doesn't do that. He acts as if he's jumping in front of a 2D picture there. Like, everything feels like it's made out of, cardboard. Like, everything is props in a play. There simply is no natural feedback from the environment to the character, and vice versa. The character cannot seem to interact with the environment in a natural way. Your movement is rather, stiff and unpolished, and while this isn't a problem in combat, combat is pretty good. I didn't quite get the hang of it yet. At first I thought I did, but at the end of the demo you get to fight the boss and I understood that, holy crap, there's a lot more I need to learn about this combat, but it is decent enough combat. However, everything else, as far as movement goes, feels very unnatural, and I don't know if the final game is going to have us do some platforming and such, because if it does, they need to improve on that. If not, if this is just exclusive to this demo, then, well, they tried, it didn't work out, no hard feelings, moving on. However, if the final game expects us to do this, they're gonna have to do a lot more work into the character movement and how they interact with the environment. Now, from what I could gather about combat, we're looking at action combat here, where you can dodge and perform different moves. For example, there's this... There aren't that many different moves you can do, but you can attack from a distance, switch weapons on the fly, which is very good. I absolutely love dealing some damage with a sword, then finishing my enemies off with a hammer. It appears that if that final boss is anything to go by, we're gonna have to learn to dodge and defend. I don't know, I mean, I will be honest, I'm not that good at this. I don't know why, it just didn't click with me. At first I thought I had a hang of it. However, when I fight that boss, and I tried fighting it several times, combat just didn't click with me. That's not to say it's bad, because it is not. It's just something that I have to learn and get used to, I suppose. However, I can tell that it is a lot of fun, because you really need to learn it and you really need to understand what you're doing in combat in order to succeed and defeat your foes. I'm sure that in the final version we'll have much more dire consequences than just your little cat thing, cat rabbit, whatever. I have them in Final Fantasy XIV and I still don't know what they're called. It doesn't matter. You know, it won't be there to revive you every time you mess up. So you're gonna have to learn to fight well. So what is there as far as gameplay goes suggests that we are looking at a very fun and very enjoyable game here, as long as we don't have to do platforming in the final version of the game with these controls and this type of movement. Now, what this demo is all about is the graphics, and as I already said, we have several different environments with different lighting and weather conditions to see just what this graphics engine can do, and it can do a lot. An insane amount of care was put into every single object in this game, from the protagonist's hair to environmental objects. Now, one thing that absolutely blew my mind, other than how lighting affects each and every environment, is the texturing and materials used. Of course, we have blurry textures, we have muddy textures, and that's understandable given the platforms this game is on. However, as far as the natural feel of each material goes, everything is perfect there. I don't know how to explain this better, but let's take a look at all the different reflections in the interior environment test. What we have here are not only different types of materials, but they each have different types of reflections suitable to the type of material they are. Now, in this case, we have the chandelier is reflected from different pieces of furniture in a different way. The glass reflects it differently. The paintings reflected differently. In even different paintings, depending on the type of paint that was used, reflect the chandelier up there differently. It's absolutely unbelievable just how much effort they put into this and how well it all came out. Reflections aren't limited just to light sources. Every moving object and every static object in the game reflects in the environment if said environment can be reflective, or other objects if they are reflective. It's insane how much detail they put into this. Now, that's not to say the reflections don't have their share of issues, but for the most part they're gorgeous to look at. They put so much effort into choosing just the right materials and making them look as realistic as possible. We have excellent lighting, beautiful shadows. Now, the shadows do have their share of issues. Unfortunately, they seem to be slightly lower res than this game deserves, so we have that shadow flickering we used to see last generation. Now, it's not as bad as it was back then, but it happens, so it's something that we have to live with, for the console version at least. However, overall, when you look at the shadows, when you look at the lighting, when you look at how environments and objects are affected by said shadows and lighting, you cannot help but be absolutely blown away. Another thing that looks very impressive, that is not without its share of problems, is the character's hair. We have very beautiful looking hair here. However, there is something about the hair that, I guess the way it was made, that is affected very strangely by light, or rather it does not cast shadows properly, and not casting shadows makes it light up completely, so every time you go under a light source that's very bright, you have white hair. It's almost as if your character just goes Super Saiyan and their hair starts glowing. I mean, it wouldn't be a game-breaking issue, and it might not even be in the final game because they will adjust the lighting in a way so that it doesn't do this. However, even if it is present there, it won't be that big of a problem, despite it looking rather awkward and unnatural and pretty darn weird. Outside of the flickering shadows and weird hair lighting, everything else looks incredible. Yes, the game has frame rate issues, and that's to be expected. You cannot expect something this detailed to run at 60 FPS on hardware as underpowered as the current consoles. However, it's really not that big a deal for me. I understand that there are people who care about this stuff a lot, and I too want smooth gameplay, but if it's not there, it's not that big a deal. The demo lets you change into different characters or vehicles. Now, unfortunately, characters are monsters from the game. Unfortunately, the pad you step on to change into different animals it gives you a random selection of animals, and the cycling through different animals is not good, so you often end up stuck with one or two types of animals. And there seem to be more, however I cannot get them. Maybe I had to collect more of those yellow gems to unlock more animals, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I saw what it's like to, control some of these animals, and I don't know if that's going to be in the final game, but it's very impressive that they gave each and every one of them different controls. There are also pads you can step on to change the weather or time of day, or to get some, gifts, items, and such. Overall, it all comes down to giving you options to mess around with the demo in a more creative way instead of just through a menu. So overall, what this demo tells me is that Final Fantasy XV has a lot of potential graphically and in terms of combat. However, it also tells me that the PS4 and Xbox One are definitely not strong enough to handle the game properly. It's not bad, but it has its issues that I think a high-profile game like this would benefit from not having. However, issues or not, I'm still exceptionally excited about this game, and it's one of my most anticipated games of the year. And I am sure that once the game comes out, and if the story is as good as it seems like it's going to be, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this game. I'd like to wait for the PC version to come out. However, honestly, I don't have the patience to do that. I really just want to play the game as soon as possible and enjoy every second of it, because I know I will. Even if it has these problems the demo had with platforming and movement and whatnot, if the story and characters are good enough, I'm going to enjoy every second of this game. The world is gorgeous already, and we can see just how fleshed out it is in the demo alone. You can imagine how fleshed out and real it's going to feel in the final version. So guys, I hope we get to play that big demo. Those of you who purchased Final Fantasy Type O got to play, because honestly I just don't feel like buying the game anytime soon or playing it. However, I think that even if we don't, this demo reassured me that Final Fantasy XV is going to be a game I'm going to enjoy a lot.